Welcome. In front of me say CUBOT X19, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick overview of this phone. So this is the box that it comes in, obviously. Fairly nice looking, honestly, and it has this matte black finish with basically everything written in gold, so it looks really nice. Now, we're not really here for the box, but it does give us a little bit of an info on the back about the phone itself, so just basic information about it. Let's pop it open. Now, normally this phone would actually come in here inside of a packaging similar to something like this. But because the people that I work with have no idea how to actually put things away, I have no clue where that is. So we're just gonna kind of move up outside of that and just pretend like it was here, but it's not. Now, the phone does actually come with the case pre-applied. So that is it. I'm gonna take it off just so you can see how it looks like. Let's also get rid of this. And I did already set up the device, or it is set up, as you can see. And let me quickly max out the brightness. So there we go. So that's maxed out brightness. Now, outside of the phone, there's also a little thank you note with, I guess, some attention, so some warnings. We don't care. Then if we pop that up, more manuals, and even more manuals. Okay, so not much here. And I assume in the second compartment we got the charger and the cable. So yes, there we go. That's how it opens. There's the cable. Oh, there's also a SIM ejector. Looks kind of nice with the plastic grip on it. And then the charger. And the charger is 10 watts. So you can clearly see it right here if the camera can actually focus. So there we go, 10 watts. So honestly not bad. Now, right off the bat, I'll mention that this is a budget device and it looks okay. Don't really have much problems with it. So, boom, straight to the side. So right off the bat, we do have a 5.9-inch display. Also get the plant in here. So 5.93 inches, inch display with a resolution of 1080p by 2160. So that's really nice that it comes with a 1080p resolution. Hands down, most certainly one of the better devices at basically $100 price range. It does have a 407 pixels per inch. That's because of the resolution, obviously. And not really sure about the screen to body ratio, but I assume it's going to be below 80%. We do have a quite substantial chin, and also we do have a forehead or whatever you want to call it. There is no notch or any kind of cutout, even though there is the pre-applied screen protection that comes with it. It kind of acts like it would have a notch. If I turn it off, you can see how it's applied. But you can clearly see the line where the screen is. So there is no notch. It just takes more. It just reduces the screen space overall. Now moving to the outside of the display and to the back, because, well, the display isn't necessarily anything good. As you can see, we have a double camera setup, and this is a, I believe, a 15 megapixel, like almost 16 megapixel camera. You can also believe, yeah, you can see it on the box as well. So it is a 16 megapixel, I assume it's going to be a wide sensor, along with a 2 megapixel, probably something like a depth of field or depth sensor or macro. I am actually unsure about that one. So let's open up camera and actually see how the camera performs. So where is it? There we go. It looks kind of weird. I wasn't looking for an icon that looks like that. Okay, so there we go. There is the camera. Let's bring our plant here and capture a couple of photos. Let me wipe it down. Okay, there we go. Now, while I am in the photo app, I'm also gonna look if there is any kind of settings or anything. So it does have different filters, which are like live, as you can see. That looks interesting, honestly. So yeah, bunch of filters, and it looks like that's... Where's the normal one? There we go, none. And it looks like that's actually about it. I don't really see any way to go into these settings here. So I think that's it. Okay, so let's go into gallery and actually see how that looks like. Okay, so there's the photo I captured, and whoops. So we can see it. Honestly, I'm not complaining. For the price that this device comes in, the photo is decent. It does keep high resolution of it, and it does zoom in quite far while still keeping the sharpness of it. The colors, on the other hand, are a little bit off. They are way darker than they actually are right here for me. So that's one thing, but other than that, I'm not complaining about this photo. It came out fairly okay. And also, let's see the selfie. So let's just bring that up. So there we go. Looks really weird. It looks like there is some weird sharpness going on. There's also like this reflection to my skin, which isn't really a thing here, for me. So yeah, it does sharpen the photo to kind of make up for the, I guess, lack of the quality. Other than that, I did a little bit blow out the light in the back, as you can see behind me. And yeah, I mean, other than that, I can't really complain for $100. This did okay. Now, it's not necessarily the best camera I have seen by any means, but I would say it's serviceable. You can use it if you want to, which sometimes is not the case with the super cheap devices. Now, moving further, it does come with a MediaTek Helio P23. So it is a budget chipset, considering it's not even a Snapdragon. It's the Helio lineup, so it is just basically the cheapest you can go. But oops, I just opened something. Let's close that. But because of that, you do have a fairly cheap device that performs, I would say, respectably. I mean, there will be still some kind of stutters, apps opening up for well, not the quickest amount of time, but that is to be expected for the device with this kind of hardware. Now, things that do stand out here is the fact that it does come with a Type-C, which apparently for the devices at 100 price range is quite difficult. They never think about actually adding you a Type-C charger, because why would they future-proof you with the device that you buy? So for $100, this is really nice, and really commend them for that. The case that they include is also okay. It will most likely protect your device from impact, which cannot be said the same about the device that I reviewed literally like 30 minutes ago. That came out with the most flimsiest case I have ever seen at the same price range, and didn't even include Type-C charging. So that's nice that they actually went with it here. Now, moving further into the device itself, what else is there to say? I believe it has a expandable storage. Let's quickly check that just so we can see it. I'm gonna take out the tray, which is right over here. And that tray was firmly in there. So yeah, we do have a SIM and SD card expansion, so we can drop a SD card to expand the storage further past the 64 gigabytes that it comes with. Apart from that, it does also have a single version of it, so you do only have the 64 gigs and 4 gigabytes of RAM. So there won't be any confusion with like different specifications and prices. And yeah, now from the site that I'm getting this info, it states that apparently this phone goes around $250. But when I was checking basically where I'm from, which is Poland, the phone was going around $100. Now, depending on how much it actually goes in your country, for instance, it goes closer to 200, don't get it. Just get something like a Mi Note 9 or Mi Note, I think, 10 T Lite or something like that. These will be the devices that are basically at the 200 range that will outperform this one hands down. If it's basically at the price range that I am looking at it in my country at $100, then this is a really good device for $100. For $200, not so much. So it is really dependent on where you're buying, I guess where you're buying or how much this device costs in your country. And yeah, basically leaving you with two options depending on the price range. So for $100, this is a really good device. If it's about $200, like I'm seeing right here, not so much. Other than that, the device here comes with minimal bloatware. The camera here is kind of trash, I would have to say. Not the best in terms of just an application itself. It's really bare bones. There is basically nothing to the camera up right here. The camera itself is serviceable, probably with a better application for it. It would perform a little bit better. You could probably try getting like the Google or Pixel app, where the Google Pixel phones have it. You can sometimes basically find those for certain devices. So if you could get this, it would probably work way better than the included camera app that is here that just has basically no features. But outside of that, I don't really have much more to say. Device is a little bit bare bones, has a little bit of an outdated look, is plasticky for the most part, has a fingerprint sensor on the back, headphone jack at the top, and Type-C, and that's basically all the important stuff here. And at the end of the day, like I said, the price will be a drastic defining point here if it's a worth purchase or not. So keep that in mind. And that being said, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.